Everyone, I'm Dr. Kim Duramo from the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine. Welcome to MindBody TV. Today, I'm going to be sharing about how to release resistance when you're in it, when you know you're in it and you feel stuck in it and you're like, how do I get out of this? And you know you want to receive more healing in your body, fluidity in your life, abundance, love, ease, like a break from the chaos and overwhelm, and you kind of feel stuck. So whether it's like anxiety or fatigue or overwhelm, especially at this time of the year, how do we release the resistance we're in so we can receive our life in ease, in grace, ease, fluidity? So welcome to everyone who is joining. I love hearing where you're tuning in from. Welcome also to everyone who's listening to the replay. This topic actually can get a little bit confusing because people make themselves wrong. Like, oh, I'm being so resistant. Why can't I just open up? I don't want to feel this way. Why can't I be, more in fluidity? And like, that's the exact thing that keeps it stuck. It's really when we can just receive exactly where we are and exactly how we're doing it that opens up so much more. It's so useful to know like how to unwind it when you're in it, because we can learn practices all day long and like meditation and, I know how to be at ease with all that is. But then when you're in it and you're really contracted, that's when you most need to implement that. So how do we do that when we're really feeling into it, in it, when we're really feeling resistant, when we're really feeling, glitchy and grungy and negative? What can we do that will open things up? So, hi everyone. I am always so excited to have everybody here live. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on this always, like what questions that you have and what comes up around this. Zabi, Kathy, Rachel, I've been wondering at what point in the releasing process is EFT the most effective? When do you add it and when is it most needed? Or are these two separate things? This is a perfect, we had somebody email about that too. This is a perfect question, and I'll definitely share kind of what to do, because we can be using these releasing processes or EFT or whatever in a way that actually keeps us more resistant, in a way that like, I gotta just feel better. Why don't I feel better? Or people will say a lot of times like, I'm using EFT, why isn't it working? And it's not like this is designed to do the thing you want it to do to work, and now I don't have to feel all that badness. It's not like that. If you're trying to use EFT to get out of it, to get somewhere else, just be willing to release that. Or any of the mind body tools that I share, like in the instant elevation program, or any of the things that I'm teaching, it has to be applied as a way to love and nurture myself, as a way to give myself what I need at the deepest level. And when I give myself what I need at the deepest level, that does unwind it. That does allow healing in my body. That does allow release of pain. But when we're doing it to get out of pain, it actually creates more resistance, because we're trying to fix the problem. What you resist persists. So you're like, oh, I still have this pain. Why do I have this pain? It's going to actually lock it in place. So I love that question. Okay. What else do we have here? Eve, hello. Nancy, Kimberly, Reno, Nevada. My name is Alex, and I'm addicted to resistance. So funny. Huya from New Zealand. All right, so welcome everyone. The first thing I want to talk about is, what is resistance? What am I talking about here? Well, we'll feel it when we feel like negative or grungy or glitchy or like, nothing's really working out. And then we actually go to find solutions. I got to change my diet. I've got to get a new supplement. I've got to get a new medication. I've got to increase my medication. I've got to take a vacation. Like all of these things, but they're actually an escape. So you come back and, wherever you go, there you are. Or you go on that vacation, but you're like, I'm still filled with so much anxiety, or whatever it is you're trying to escape. How do we release resistance? So what resistance is about is, on some level, we're expanding. There is an expansion going on that when we resist it, we feel the tension. What is expansion? So we're expanding into more abundance, more joy, more ease, freedom, love, all of the things that make life worth living. But how that shows up in your life, you know, it could be there's a new opportunity, like, hey, let's do this. And you're like, oh, no, we couldn't possibly do that because blah, 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 blah. or someone is maybe trying to help you out, like, hey, let me know what I can do for you. Or, you know, and we block receiving. Oh, no, I'm good. I got it covered. Or, oh, why don't I ever get the help I need? I always need help. I have to do it all on my own. And it's like we're resisting. Like on some level, we want more, but we're resisting it. So if you find yourself complaining about your circumstances, or, wow, all these bad things always happen to me, or I can't get a break, you're in some level of resistance to receiving. If you feel like you're always living in overwhelm, it's just too much, I can't get ahead, same thing. So, or if you're living in lack of energy, lack of love, lack of money, I never have what I need, or I always have to struggle in order to get what I need, you're in resistance. And the thing with this is, if you weren't, and this was just like, well, this is just life, it wouldn't bother you. There wouldn't be a tension there. It would be like, yeah, this is what I have, this is what I have. Here we go, let's just do it. And there would be fluidity with that. But when it's bringing up tension or contrast, it's because there's resistance to what is available for you, for what's trying to come in. So how does this expansion show up? It's the invitation. It's the feeling of, oh my God, I want to have what she's having. How is she having such a good time? Or even getting like jealous, where you're like, oh, but I can't have that because blah, 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 blah. I have a friend who has really defined herself as a single mom. I'm a single mom. Well, you know, I can't do that because I'm a single mom. Or, well, that's not going to happen for me because I'm a single mom. And I asked her finally, like, what are you making this mean? What do you think it means that you're a single mom? And she had realized there was all these ideas about what it meant for her resources, what it meant for her time, what it meant for her energy, what it meant for her money, and what it meant for her love life. And it didn't need to mean any of those things. So I asked her, well, do you know other single moms who had it different, and a totally different experience? And it took her a while to actually kind of tap into that. But she began to open to like, yeah, I guess it isn't necessarily linked that this is the rule, and to loosen up so she could receive more. So resistance will come in the form of our ideas, beliefs, conclusions we've made, ways, identities that we've defined ourselves as, especially when we have illness. And then it's like, well, the doctor said da, 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 so therefore it means this. Even if we know on some level that that isn't really true for me, that just doesn't feel right for me, and I don't want to buy into it, but I have to buy into it because all the doctors are saying blah, 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 blah. So would you be willing to expand beyond those identities, beyond those conclusions, and beyond what other people believe is possible or are buying into for themselves? Okay, so let me just look through the comments again. Hello, Grace. Always, I love to see you, Dr. Kim. You're a lovely reflection. Nancy says, I'm an EFT practitioner. You are spot on. Hello, Carrie and Patty. I need this topic so much. Thank you. Kimberly, how do I move from working on everything to being in fluidity? There's some fear with allowance because fighting has helped me survive for so long. I do feel lack and resistance, even though I know it's not my truth. It's perfect. Thank you. So expansion is showing up. It's not just this thing like, oh, I know there's abundance there for me somehow. It's in every moment of your life. It's knocking on your door in every moment and in everything that happens. That means the things that happen that you think are good things, and the things that happen that you think are bad things, and the things that happen that you think are like, that doesn't even matter for me, it has nothing to do with me. Everything that's happening is an invitation into your expansion. Can you let yourself receive it? That means for Kimberly, with the things you're working on, that maybe is like a lot of avoidance strategies to try to fix it, trying to make it better, trying to not experience what I'm experiencing. The key, and this is a big thing in the Embracing Health program, is like when we can embrace what is, we are releasing the resistance. So for me, I don't think I've really shared this with too many people yet, but I just auditioned for the local spring musical, which is Mamma Mia, which is like my favorite thing in the world. Like I go crazy. Gemma and I are dancing around the room. I know all the words to the song. We act out the parts. She's actually really good at it too. And we have so much fun with it. So when someone told me this was going to be the local theater production, I was like, oh my God, I need to be in that show. I've got to do this. Actually, when I saw the movie, before I even knew it was going to be a local production, I was like, I am Donna. I want to be this movie. I want to be this movement. I want to be this music. And something really opened for me. And so now, you know, I auditioned. So I got a call back and I was like, oh my God, I got a call back. And it was not for Donna and it was not for Tanya. It was for Rosie. So it's like one of the main characters, but you know, one of the sub parts. And I was like, then I was like, oh. And so it took me like a day to get my head around like, no, this isn't what's supposed to happen. And it didn't feel good. But I was like, what if this is exactly perfect for me? Which it always is, but sometimes it can take me a little bit to get my head around it. And my husband said the same thing too. What if this is exactly perfect? And then my sister said it. And she said, well, what if this is like calling you, asking you to dig into deeper creativity and really, you know, feel out who is Rosie and let something in you express. So I studied Rosie. I got into Rosie. I felt like, oh my God, I actually really identify with Rosie so much because of, you know, if you know the story. And so I'm all ready. I go to the callback audition. It was amazing. I actually wasn't sure at the end of it, like, I don't know how this is going to go, but I felt like, oh, this is such a yes. So I get the email yesterday. I actually got it this morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning. I went in and there it was. We are excited to invite you. And then I open the thing and it says to be part of the ensemble. And I was like, part of the ensemble. And it's a massive time commitment, like moving a lot of energy to go and be a part of this. And I was like, oh. In the ensemble. So Gemma happened to be in her bed last night because she didn't feel great last night. So she crawled in bed. So we were all lying there awake. So chatting. And I said, yeah, the ensemble. I'd be like, you know, one of the background people. And Gemma goes, yeah, I remember the background people, Mama. And they're in all the songs. And I remember the girls that were in the background smiling and dancing and having fun. And yeah. And it was so like, yeah, Kim, is this a match for your yes? Or are you going to refine like how you thought it was going to go and then it's not this and act like you're distracted or uncertain about it? Because that felt so bad. Like, should I still do it? And like 2 months of leaving my family to do these rehearsals every night. And it was like, oh God, just let that go. Yes, it's a freaking yes. Any way you slice it, I want to be a part of this. So Kim, just say yes to your yes and receive whatever it looks like. But you can see how you could get really glitchy around that, like the disappointment of it not going the way I thought it would. Or even if it's like medical tests, you go and get medical tests and you're like, oh my God, it's this and I want it to be this. Can you get on board with what is, no matter what that's bringing up for you, and then let yourself move through all the crap it brings up for you? What it brought up for me, oh my God, I told everybody I was auditioning, and now I'm like, I'm going to have to go back and tell them, like, well, I didn't get it, but I'm in the ensemble, and like the inadequacy of that, and like, Kim, what do you have on this? What are you feeling? What's it bringing up for you? And let that clear. And it cleared in like 12 seconds. But I had to go there with myself, not like, it's good, just focus on the positive. No, that's total BS. Be with what it brings up and let the energy move. Let the circumstance of this maybe not so wanted thing move the energy that's coming up in you. So I like invited myself, like, Kim, what's coming up? What's going on? What does this bring up for you? Because there was discomfort. And then there was the uncertainty of like, should I really ask my family to make accommodations for all this? And then it's going this way. I'm not the star. And yeah, it was like, what is it I'm actually doing this for? I'm not doing it to be the star or say like, hey, I'm the star. I'm doing it to bring more joy and creativity and flow and dance into my life. And yeah, it's still a fit, especially because they said I'm in the ensemble / featured dancer. I don't know what featured dancer is, but I'm like, that sounds good. So I found a way into it, but I had to be with the resistance to let it move. So any energy that was there that this experience invited up, be with that, breathe through. And this is where you can use a little EFT. Like, I am so uncomfortable about this. I don't know what I should do. I'm so upset it didn't go the way I thought. Just letting your body know, because the EFT is the message to your nervous system that says, and it's all okay as it is. That says, and I love myself fully. So when you're tapping and you're letting all the grunge come up, oh my God, I'm so inadequate. What am I going to tell everybody? Is it going to be worth it? Blah, 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 blah. You're neutralizing all of that, the thoughts, ideas, beliefs, emotions, letting your body know, and it's perfectly okay to receive this exactly as it is. So non-resistance is about receiving all of it exactly as it is. And let go of all the ideas that that means inaction, that that means settling for less, that that means, oh, I guess it's going to be this and I can't change it, so therefore. It just means being willing to receive it as it is. Yes, there's so many things we'll then maybe feel inspired to be proactive about, like send a message and say, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for more here. I just sent a message and said, yes, I'm all in. I'm psyched to be a part of this in whatever way, but I'm holding the space for like, maybe something shifts around and something even more opens up. And wouldn't that be awesome too? So especially when it's something that's really scary, like, whoa, we just found cancer cells in your breast, or, yes, your labs are abnormal and you have this label of this autoimmune disease, and you're like, it will bring up a lot of resistance. But if you remember, like, okay, life just invited all this resistance so that I can clear these energies that have been buried in me. You can't ever feel anything other than your own fear, your own grief, your own anger, your own disappointment, your own despair. These are energies that have been buried for sometimes decades and decades, and they are exactly the doorway through which you receive everything you're asking for. It's the door behind which everything you're asking for lies. So can you receive things and be willing to move through the resistance it brings up to let that release? How do I know when I'm in resistance? I'm going to read a few comments first. Zabi says, I got used to being in resistance with myself. Not so much since doing what you've suggested. Seems still more awareness is needed. Yeah, that's great. Michael, hello. My resistance, I think, is showing up as fear about my upcoming delivery, breastfeeding, living my best life after the baby, etc. So let this be an invitation to like sit with it and sit with you. Like, okay, Michael, what do you have on this? What do you have? What are the fears? What are the ideas you have about this? What are the images that you've bought into with, like, I don't know, women who it doesn't go so well after the delivery, like, oh, I've lost my life and now it's all about the kid and I'm overwhelmed and I don't have space for me and I'm falling apart. And so just ask, yeah, okay, be with that the fears are there. Breathe through it. It's so much less about the magical tools, which are awesome and really powerful, and so much more about my being willing to sit with what is arising in me. 99% of the things we're doing are, what can I do to avoid what's arising in me? What can I do to fix what's arising in me? What can I do to escape from what's arising in me? So I go to like a special diet or a special practitioner, or let me just take these supplements. And because it's out of resisting, what you resist persists. But if you can instead do it as a way to fully nurture myself and love myself, meet the one who's scared, meet the one who has these ideas about what does it look like when you have this baby and you're breastfeeding and your body's changing. Can I be in more resilience with that, to accept my body in all those changes? Or am I going to uphold those old ideas I have about my body, that it should be a certain way and better not be this way, and go through the pregnancy and delivery with resistance? So be willing to let all of this move through, because this is inviting you to be the mom that that baby requires. A mom with greater fluidity, a mom with greater self-love and allowance, a mom with greater resilience. Janet says, perfect timing. Yesterday, I kept spontaneously crying, lots of fear and overwhelm. Feeling better today, but so hard to be in the moment. I used some Ho'oponopono. So the overwhelm, especially when we cry and there's like a spontaneous flow of energy and it just wants to come out, and okay, let it through. My husband will, like, if sometime I'm so overwhelmed and I just like, the energy will move and I'll cry and I'm like, I'm tired. I don't know I don't know why it's happening. I don't even need a reason to know, like, why am I doing this? Why am I acting? I shouldn't be crying. No, crap. Let it move how it's moving. And my husband's like the same way now, where he'll be like, I don't even need to ask you anything. Just breathe, whatever you need, and will give me like a shoulder to cry on. And it's like, 10 seconds it moves by and I'm like, okay, I breathe in, I breathe out. That energy cleared. I don't even need to know what it was about. And maybe I don't know what it's about, but I don't require that. So that ability, that allowance lets more energy move. So I could move like a decade of old stuff I'm holding in like very, 10 seconds, because I don't have to understand it. And a lot of times the understanding comes, it just comes after. Nicole says, super interesting. I just got off a call with someone who was telling me they've gone through what I'm going through. She has POTS. I know I've been dealing with it, but I haven't focused on it. Now she mentioned it to me and I'm like, holy cow, maybe I need to focus on the physical side more. Then I don't want to buy into it. You know, I would tell you that there will be a time when it's like, okay, I've released some of the resistance and now there's more clarity and I'm going to do this treatment or medication or surgery or supplement or exercise or whatever on the physical. Focus on the physical, but it will feel light. It will feel freeing. It will be available, meaning you have the energy and resources to move in that direction. And it will feel like a gift. Like, oh, cool. I'm going to do this thing. This feels good. It won't feel like, oh my God, I should focus more on this. So maybe I'm not focusing enough on the physical and I should focus on the physical. So that's fear. Fear is never going to guide you in your expansion. Not that there won't be fear there and it's like, all right, I'm going to move forward even though there's some fear here. It's just that fear isn't at the steering wheel. Fear isn't in the driver's seat telling you what to do and what not to do. So this definitely does not feel expansive for you in this 10 seconds. Doesn't mean there won't be a moment where, oh, let's do this physical thing. Because what happens then is you're like, no, I'm not going to do anything physical. I made this conclusion. It needs to be just, just emotional and I'm not going to deal with the physical. And then you make it wrong. It's like, no, don't do that either. Receive all things in grace and ease and follow what is the inspired action without conclusions about what it should or shouldn't be. Anna from Sweden, hello. Hello, Martha. Huya, I love this. Oh, I love that movie. I love the Mamma Mia movie. Yeah, no. Jennifer says, good for you. Kathy, my friends and I have a Mamma Mia party every year to sing along and have a Greek potluck. I love that movie and it's just so great you're joining the cast. Yeah, there are some things like this is a perfect movie that is about joy. Because even when they were directing, they're like, let's think about what's the theme of what we're doing. And really this one is just about having fun. I was like, yeah. And it is also about expressing the feminine and the frivolous and the joyful for the purpose of joy, which is such a theme in my life right now. Heather says, I find singing is amazing for releasing energy. Yeah, I've really been practicing my singing as in preparation for all this. And it's been amazing what I've stepped into in myself. Like this whole other aspect of me that doesn't often get practiced is so activated, and it created a whole amazing series of what's called liquid dance. And I'm going to be coming out with this probably in a couple months, but it's a healing dance movement. I've used it for years. I just found it in my body, and I've broken it down into these 5 different steps of how to embody movement through your body to let energy flow, to let energy move, to let emotions express, to let your body heal. And it's super, super powerful. Michael says, yes, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes a few weeks ago, and it broke open so much inside. And I sat through all of that shit, and within hours, I was ready to make decisions that would serve me, my body, and my baby. My levels have been phenomenal since, and I feel great. This is the perfect example of receiving, okay, this information of this illness or this imbalance and letting it serve you. So nothing like that to bring up immense loads of fear and have like a whole breakdown, mental, emotional breakdown, like all the ways I feel incapable of being a mother, all the ways I feel incapable of doing my life, all the ways I feel incapable of guiding this little person and handling my life in addition to this baby and blah, 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 blah. It's like it's going to break it all open, but it's breaking it open to release. So invite the resistance, not resist the resistance. Invite what is and invite yourself to move through it. So even just breath and awareness. And of course, like the instant elevation tools is like that process, that 3-step process of aware, breathing, and shifting beliefs, and then conscious choice. How can I shift what's happening so that my body can easily, effortlessly move that energy? Your body knows how to move that energy. When I taught this dance expression a few weeks ago with my friends locally, everyone there, it was like, you already know how to do this. I'm just inviting you to do it more fully, more willingly, more expressively. And all of them were like right there, and so much moved through. Kathy says, that sounds so good. Joanne, this is a great example of resistance and being right where you're supposed to be. So part of resistance is you've got to release being right, because the ideas, judgments, and conclusions are really limiting. And if you're insisting like, I got to be right, it's going to lock them in place. It actually won't let you move beyond them. We know we're in resistance, and like, so there's these ideas, beliefs, conclusions, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, I've got to go on 10 years of psychoanalysis and find out what those beliefs are and then extract them. No. You can feel what you feel, because what you feel as resistance is your body asking for your attention in specific places, asking for you to be present to those fears, asking you to be present to how uncomfortable it feels to be in your body because of the judgment you've held, because of the conclusions you've made. You don't have to go into, oh, those judgments. Oh, at 10 years old when I saw this happen, I made these judgments about my body, and now I got to get it out. No, you just feel what you feel, because your body is guiding you through the process of releasing resistance. Your body already knows how to do this. Give your body your loving attention, your presence, your willing presence. I'm willing to feel everything that arises in my body and let the energy move. So what's going to happen is your mind's going to get on board, like, the energy's not moving. Or what do I have to do? Oh my God, this really is so bad. I got to learn. I got to figure it out. Just breathe through that, because none of that will ever be what is required. Breathe through what you feel and let your body do the transmutation. Be willing to feel what you feel more fully, because that is the process of transmutation. I'm willing to feel this. What would it take for me to release this fully? So maybe a little two-step there. I'm willing to feel this. What would it take for me to receive all I need to let this move fluidly, to release this fully? So you do have your awareness on that freedom, that you're fully willing to be present in what you feel. Huya says, yes, this resonates so powerfully with me. I'm coming home. Yes, me too. Randy, the big challenge in caps, I've been having is around feeling like I don't have enough time to work on my creative passions and projects. I think I should do to get my gifts, the things I should do to get my gifts into the world, like writing and working on my blog and art. And then when I finally do have time, it seems like there's all this self-sabotage where I'm too tired, I distract myself, followed by the shame and judgment that I'm wasting my wild, precious life and not expressing my purpose to this world. I would really like to shift this. So get it off the table that it's time. Oh, I need this quarter of time. And then in that time, I can express my creative gifts and passions. Totally not going to work. How can I cultivate a greater sense of presence right where I am? Because your artistic expression is really about how you live every moment. I had a friend, actually she was doing the dance work with me, and she said, wow, I never realized how much my sensuality, being sensual and feeling what I'm feeling, contributes to my life, contributes to my health, contributes to my work, contributes to my money. I was doing life like, okay, I can be sexual over here in this little corner with my husband, and then the whole rest of my life being a mom, being at work, being, a daughter, being whatever, was totally like not being sensual, because that's not my sexual life. So let me just like compartmentalize it and turn it off. And I've been so masculine in my work, and now I'm aware that that's exactly what's holding back me receiving more money. If I could show up in the femininity of the flow in my work, and knowing and asking the question, what will contribute the most here? I wonder what spicy things could come in from me and my clients. I wonder what possibilities exist here that I haven't even occurred to me, that I could just let come through by sensing, by being aware, by being present, by being in my body and feeling my body while I'm in my work. And to her, it was like two different worlds, but it really created a lot of lack, or it just like limited a lot of abundance and flow from coming in. And she's really asking for more. I want to have more abundance. And so it was the exactly thing for her to be willing to be in exactly where she is. I for a long time was like, I want to be out of the ER and into this other aspect of my work. How do I do that? But the awareness was show up where you are. And it was like, oh, but certainly by now I shouldn't be still in the ER. Show up where you are. You should be still in the ER because you are still in the ER. You should be exactly where you are. If you want to should. But it's right that you're exactly where you are. And it's actually going to create resistance to reject where you are and try to be somewhere else or wish you could be somewhere else. So how can I embrace, even if it's just this little 2% while I'm in the ER, the energy that I'm wanting to welcome into my life that is exhibited in this other realm of my career that didn't exist yet? How can I be in the flow and creativity of being sensual, sensing, being aware? And it created a lot. Like I would really connect, and I kind of always function that way anyway. I would connect with people in the ER and, immediately know what's required, what tests are required. Is this person going to need to come into the hospital? Are they going to be okay? And we'll patch them up and get them going. What's going to happen? And have all of that awareness so that I can operate really fluidly in that structure. I didn't love it, but it's okay. You don't ever have to, oh, this is so great. Just be willing to receive it. Just be willing to play in it. Because the play of receiving it, like receiving that this is where I am right now, I'm going to have to let that 2% of creativity and artism come through this little channel that doesn't have a lot of space for it so that I get to experience more. So be willing to allow that exactly where you are and let go of the idea that it has to be separate. It can't be separate. Nothing is separate. Eve says it makes so much sense when you explain it. Yet I forget all of this when I'm in my yuck. That's why I wanted to do this, this episode, how to release resistance when you're in it. So if you'd be willing to feel what you feel and stop making it wrong and stop, like one of the callers yesterday in the Embracing Health program had this thing from like decades ago, and she was still making herself wrong for that choice. And so she couldn't really live in her existing life because if she hadn't made that choice, her whole life would be different. And making that wrong is making like how her life is now wrong. So she can't really have that much joy and that much receiving because she kind of should have done it this other way. And so to go back and begin to like release all those conclusions will allow her to receive so much more of what's right about this I'm not getting. What's right about exactly how I did it 30 years ago. What's right about exactly where I am right now. So asking the question, what's right about this I'm not getting, and what would it take for me to allow the complete resolution of this, the release of this, so I can receive all I'm asking. And usually what would allow that is just being willing to be exactly where I am. Like I said, 99% of the time we are running, escaping, and avoiding feeling what we're feeling and experiencing what we're experiencing. So this little reframe and that little shift of I'm willing to feel what I'm feeling, and what would it take for me to allow a miraculous expansion from exactly where I am right now. Yeah, somebody write that down. Because I'll share that in the follow-up to the members. Susan says, hello, Kim. I'm very much in this position of resistance. I'm wanting so much to feel better, and I feel desperate. About a week ago, I woke up with blocked ears, and it feels like I'm underwater and having a very difficult time. Yeah, your body's asking you to go in because it needs space to release a ton of energy, and your presence and attention and awareness of I'm willing to be in here and be with everything I'm feeling and give it my loving attention. It doesn't even need to be like, oh, I love what I'm feeling. Just my willing attention. I'm willing to feel this, even just 2%. Like give 5 minutes a day of going into that space of everything that's arising and feeling what you feel and giving it your willing attention. The doctor saw some fluid. I've had a 12-year chronic illness, and this was the first symptom I experienced that lasted for years. And finally, I got over it with intermittent issues, and I'm now feeling so much fear. So it sounds like it's come back. In addition, yeah, so now it's a revisiting. It's a revisiting because you're in a place now where you can be in a different relationship with what's arising and with what wants to move. So yeah, you could like suppress it, get a bunch of medications, and you're like, oh, I don't have to feel that anymore. And now you're avoiding by being outer and connecting out here, not as much connected inside. And you would lose the opportunity that life is asking, what life is allowing you to integrate right now by going in, by being present within, and by allowing a transmutation on a deeper level. This will resolve, but life is actually inviting you to a new experience of life. And so more willingness to feel what you feel and be exactly where you are will open up the space for way more. In addition, I'm having hot flashes all night and not getting sleep. I'm so overwhelmed, I just don't know how to handle it. Please let me know, Susan, what you noticed from that practice. I would do at least 5 minutes a day, but it would be even better to do what, 5 minutes 3 times a day, you know, in the morning, during the day, before you go to bed at night, of just saying, body, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm willing to be present to everything we're feeling right now. And then just take, you know, how many breaths that is in 5 minutes. Take like 50 breaths. And yeah, it doesn't even need to be a full 5 minutes, just 2 minutes. Because I can feel your system, how much fear it brings up to really connect with this. Just 2 minutes, like I'm just gonna breathe. That's a great way, you know, if you're in it, a square breath. So you breathe in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling, hold for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding. Exhale for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling. Hold it out for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in, hold, exhale, hold, inhale. So a square breath. You don't need to maximize the tight inhale or so complete exhale. Play with, have a little bit of lightness in it. But that's going to be a good way for you to be present with what's happening. But tune into what you're feeling with the ears plugged and to what it's bringing up for you instead of trying to avoid it. Anne says, this is exactly what I'm experiencing, rebuilding our home from the hurricane. Almost everything has been done at less than how I'd like. I don't understand how to do this. When I sit with it, I fume and rage with disappointment. So it sounds like life is inviting you to release disappointment and to be with the energies of deep disappointment. Your home's going to be okay. You're actually going to receive a lot more. This is just the first step of a revamping. So don't even worry about it, because what it's doing is it's bringing up for you the conclusion like, I'm not okay, I'll never have what I need, I'll never have what I need. And life is doing a rewrite. It's inviting you to do a rewrite of that, so you're no longer living from that space, so that you can be like, all right, it got all wiped out. I have a clean slate to do life from a whole different vantage point. I'll receive everything exactly as it is. I'll receive my despair. I'll receive my fear. I'll receive the one that thinks I can't get what I need, and thinks, and also who thinks she needs to do it, who thinks you're the source rather than you receiving from source. So it's a rewrite of all of that. And yeah, I get it's a massive, life is asking you to let go of a lot, but it's the external representation of all the crap that's ready to leave from your energy system, like a lot of heaviness and a lot of lack and a lot that was limiting. So you can begin to be like, whoa, how can this be a blessing in some way that everything's wiped away? And with it, I can allow all these things, known and unknown, to release. And life is guiding me through a restoration of living life from a very different vantage point where I receive infinitely. So let this first step move through. It's okay. You're just in a first little phase that's like, oh, just get things together. It actually isn't what is going to, it's not the steady state for where your home is going to be at all. And you'll actually receive a rebuilding. You'll receive something more. So just be willing to sit with what is and all the disappointment, because it's an old story. It's the energetic representation of an old story that you are very much complete with. Kathy says, say thank you to the body for informing me of this. I have mercy and compassion for this part of me that needs love. Yeah, that was a big part of what our call was yesterday with the Embracing Health group. It's a major first step. Heather, how could this work for the past and things you resist, in that you can't get over a bad experience, etc.? So it's the same thing. Be willing to be present to all this resistance of what you're feeling about the past, the judgments and ideas about the past, the way you're not going to embrace what is because of this thing in the past. Just the awareness of it will allow a lot of that energy to move, presencing what you feel. Grace, I love the pattern of reminders. I have flowed through today from at least 3 wholeness sources. to allow Mother Earth to embrace the contractions in our energetic fields and then release limiting internal messages holding on to the contraction. Good. Anne says, I've been using the breathing with anger and crying, but it's not clearing. It's clearing. It's okay. You're a little bit of there's a little bit of impatience, so let that transmute as well. It's clearing. All these emotions keep coming up day after day. There's just more that's asking for your attention. So the impatience is having you, you want it to be over. And it's like, no, mommy, we still need your attention. Give us a little more love. There's just decades and decades and decades of things that you're moving through and you haven't been aware of what's actually moving. You're doing great. All these emotions keep coming up. So what do I do when the breathing isn't clearing the energy? It's to just know I breathe in, I breathe out, more is arising. I breathe more, I breathe out. Wow, even more is arising. You're actually inviting it to arise. The breath is inviting more stuff to clear. So you don't need to make it wrong because your ideas of how it should look are different, or your ideas of the timeline it should be on. Just dump those ideas and you're gonna have a lot more space for this. Huya says, I love this not needing to understand. For years, I carried an old BS that I've got to get to the bottom of this. So restricted. Yeah, good. Life will do it for you. Nicole says, thank you. Karen, hello, Karen. Jennifer, there's nothing like music to move energy. Amen. Yeah, that's why this body of work will be really around, even if you're paralyzed or you're severe relenting fatigue on the bed, you will be able to use this body of work to allow energy to move, even if you're not like physically in the physicality of the movement. So that's why I'm so excited to launch Liquid Dance. Woohoo! Allie says, I'm on chemotherapy for my autoimmune disease, which I had labeled as bad. Now I welcome my infusions, receiving the gift of this medicine with gratitude. The entire experience has completely changed to one of ease and grace. That is really beautiful, especially because a lot of people will choose chemotherapy, but choose it from resistance. So this one woman I knew from high school said, oh, it's Toxic Tuesday. I have to go for my, my cancer therapy and go and have chemotherapy. And I didn't know her that well, so I don't think I really should have put this comment, but I said, oh, maybe if you reframe it, you can receive it as, like a wonderful gift that you're healing and something good is happening. I didn't really hear back from her, and I kind of felt like, Kim, you're not being asked for there. But I kind of could feel the restriction in that, but she just needed encouragement. So then I kind of gave her that. But yeah, if we choose something and then we're in resistance with it at the same time, like, oh, I have to have chemo and it's total crap because chemo is so bad and it's so toxic. You don't have to anything. You really don't. But if you choose to receive chemo, receive it and get on board with your choice. Maybe it's like, yeah, but I'm choosing it from fear because I'm afraid to, that the other modalities won't be enough. Well, get on board with your choice. There's fear, so I'm going to do what feels most comfortable for me in this 10 seconds, and I'm going to get on board with my choice. So receive it because, there's a great work by Anita Morjani who had end-stage lymphoma, literally died, and, was on hospice and died, and cleared the cancer, cleared all of the fear energy that had her body manifest cancer, and was 100% cancer-free. But she received the chemo, and she's like, I know, it's got the skull and crossbones on the thing as it's coming through the tube. I know my body is in a high enough frequency. I have the resilience to detoxify this chemo and receive, whatever I'm here. She was receiving it because the doctors required it for themselves. They couldn't understand why her body showed no signs of cancer. They couldn't understand why none of the cells they harvested showed cancer. And they needed to give it to her because they needed to feel like they were doing something. And she's like, I can just show up and allow that because I already know I'm not vulnerable in that way. So she stepped into a new level of resilience and received it. So I thought that was a great example because it's real life example. But this beautiful that you're doing that, Allie. Jennifer says, when I'm in physical or emotional pain, you've taught me to ask what's right about this. Joanne says, thank you so much. Susan, during your healing from chronic illness, what specifically did you do during that time to stay focused on you and not let your mind take over your thoughts? Did all your symptoms heal during that 10-day period? Okay, here's what happened. It was over a year, it was almost 2 years of being totally distracted by it. Oh my God, this pain. Oh my God, I can't stand it. Oh my God, what the hell's going on? Oh my God, I gotta do something. Severe pain and unbelievable fatigue. And then this kind of when you have a fever, chills, yuckiness, almost every day. And I'm like, but there really is something wrong. So I was almost like advocating for, there really is something wrong, instead of, well, my body obviously needs more nurturance. What does my body require? It was like, I got to fix this. I got to make this go away for a long time. And understanding mind-body healing and understanding psychoneuroimmunology and kind of trying to apply it, but in a way that was trying to fix the problem. And it got worse and it got worse and it got worse. So when people hear that I healed in 10 days, they're like, oh my God, why haven't I healed? It's been months. But I studied this stuff for years and years and years. And then I experienced this illness for like almost 2 years. And then it was really when I found the strength, because the bottom fell out. The worst thing in the world happened. Like sometimes you receive the gift of this worst thing and it's like, oh my God, it woke me up. And that's when I started saying, what's right about this I'm not getting. And that's what it was when I started saying, I receive all of this in grace and ease, not so that it can go away. I receive this in grace and ease as the greatest gift of learning to cherish and love my body. Stay as long as you need. I get it now. There was no need for the symptoms to go away, so there was no resistance to the symptoms. And that's why it only took 10 days of integrating this. And in that integration, it was reframing and repracticing and like solidly feeling my feet on the floor to anchor into that physical, like I am here, not in this future feared reality or in the whatever I was creating. I am here now. I'm okay. I anchor into this truth. I am powerfully healthy and strong. I receive this truth that I know, and I allow myself to come back into that awareness. I am committed. I am unwilling to entertain these fears anymore and these ideas anymore that I already know. I have the clarity now. They are not true. So going to that one last doctor who laid it all on the table and finally found everything wrong with me, and then here's your label, here's your diagnosis, here's your treatment and what you need. And I was like, oh my God, this is so not true for me. And I'm clear that I'm clear. So I didn't have any more questions to be answered of, but maybe I just need to do da 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 da. I'm clear that I'm clear. And I forgave myself for how long it took me to be clear. So that's kind of how it went. Grace says there's a huge shift from being willing to accept and embracing all we are, willing to accept, into embracing with all we are the perfection of our every moment. Embracing with everything we are the perfection of every moment. Yeah, willing to accept where you're like, oh, I guess I'll just accept it, and you're resigned, versus I embrace all of this exactly as it is. All right, Stacy, I notice the more I feel and not resist, the more clarity and peace I have. Sometimes the pain is almost unbearable. So more presence, more breath, more compassion. Maddie, a few weeks back, I had a deep conversation with myself, telling my body I'm ready to let go of illness and all pathogens that are not a match for health and vitality. It was so powerful. This is what I'm talking about when it's commitment. You're committing to this new truth, and then you're like, I'm not going to buy into the delusion or the doubt or the fear that seeps back in. She says, but ever since then, I feel like I'm dying and numb, so I can't seem to connect with myself right now. So there is a part of you that's dying. It's like, what's right about this I'm not getting? Yeah, there is a part of you that's dying, the part that hung on to that, the part that hung on to the fear, that part that was susceptible to all that fear and the consciousness where those pathogens can flourish. Grace, I cannot wait to participate in your dance movement healing modality. I'm always watching for somatic movement blended with energetic receiving. Ooh, yeah. All right, Emily, this is so powerful and helpful. Thank you. I released so much of the resistance, and I definitely want the fluid dance. Grace says, I accept the clarity that you present. All right, it is always with so much compassion for yourself. This is not an airy-fairy, easy, flighty thing. Like, you're going to meet the deepest despairs, but you're going to meet them with total willingness and with a commitment to allow in all that life is really bringing you. So much love to everyone. We definitely have more space in the membership. So if you have friends that you'd like to invite into this, it's at drkimd.com/membership. I'm super excited for this community to grow and to keep, communicating this way and committing and serving here. Yeah, we have a lot of very exciting things coming up soon. And for those of you who are practitioners, reach out, because I'm creating a whole new body of work for people who are in a wellness-based practice and are ready to expand into something much, much more powerful And I think we're going to open that to a broader group rather than just who we were going to be connecting with on that. So you can send an email to support@drkimd.com if you're a practitioner interested in connecting in this collaboration. I've been in a lot of these like masterminds, and it's really not about the mind. It's about the collaboration at the heart. So I finally have created my own group centered around that collaboration and assisting the expansion of all of us as practitioners in sharing this work with the world. So I am going to be extending an invitation soon for more people to join me with that. Lots of love, everyone. I'm so excited to have shared this with you. I'll see you soon in the membership Facebook, and we'll connect there. Bye.